I'm Jackie.
And I'm Ashley. Welcome to the Witching Hour.
The Witching Hour is a little extension of Dumb Witch Club where we give you a witchy quickie.
What that is we take a big topic, break it down into bite-sized pieces, and we have a little sip of something to drink.
Yes, indeed. Today we have red wine.
I didn't know what you were going to say.
I didn't either but it's red wine. What am I going to say?
Today we have red wine.
It's a Merlot, Red Mountain, 2020. Chasing Rain is what it says.
Okay.
Then it also says Aquilini.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to try it and see what happens.
So, I don't know.
We don't know anything.
Chasing Rain. What? Okay. I mean, whatever. We kind of are.
It's slightly chilled because that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
And
just tolerate it better when it's chilled and when we swirl it. But don't
I know.
All the time in the world.
Also, we've both been sick.
Yeah.
Which is why we've been a little off our schedule.
Yeah.
You're like currently more sick than me. I'm more better than you. But I'm just like coughing right now. Like, what the heck?
Everyone's a mess. It's all a mess. Who knows?
Okay, let's cheers.
Cheers. Oh my goodness.
I don't think your taste buds are right today. Because
No.
this is not terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could have a different opinion from each other. That's true.
No, but we usually
generally speaking, I think you wouldn't be having that reaction to this.
Yeah.
It's not really that strong or like...
Yeah, this is not a good time to be trying wine.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good lesson to learn. Don't be trying wine when you're sick.
Yeah. True. But no, it's actually... It's kind of full-bodied. It's kind of round and luscious.
I wish I was getting that.
Yeah, I think you're having an unfortunate experience with this.
It tastes like dust.
No, it really doesn't. That's all you. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, how crazy is that though? That's
sucks.
what happened.
Now look, is this like my favorite wine ever and am I going to buy it forever? No, not at all. It's a red wine. I don't love it, but it is not as bad as that.
It tastes like I'm in a tornado.
Oh,
and
well.
I'm drinking dust.
I mean, it is a little minerally. Like, I'll give you that. But
I feel like that's all I'm getting.
Yeah, but okay. I'm sorry, I feel bad. But also, we did purposely not bring out a wine that we thought we would love because we have been sick and we weren't, But anyways, okay, it says, the desert-like conditions of Red Mountain, Washington, with its 5 to 6 inches of annual rainfall, make it an ideal climate for world-class grapes. Smaller berries, whatever. Okay. Great info. All right, I don't know. That's all it says.
Info. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, Chasing Rain. I will give you another.
No, I mean
try.
it's definitely not bad. Like if I had this at a party or somebody served it with a dinner, I would drink it gladly. But
It does make me want to try it when I am feeling better. To like try and see how different it is and like what's different about it. Just out of curiosity of like seeing what happens.
yeah, I do feel bad because I feel like you're having a bad taste experience.
Yeah, it's like horrible.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
I was like, how is she drinking this? And then I was like, oh wait, yeah, I'm probably not. It's probably like not normal right now.
Yeah, no, you also don't have to keep trying it to see if it improves. Like, don't even worry about it. No, don't even worry about it. Let's get down to business.
Let's do it.
We have a March energy report. It's that time, friends. Okay.
It's that time.
So the song that I have for March.
Oh, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The song. Oh, why?
Because your last song was really good.
Thank you. I thought it was good too.
It was good. I put it on my Spotify and then I made like that song radio out of it.
So smart.
Because I was like, okay, she's spot on. And then I was like, okay, so I'm going to make this. And then that's going to be like my February, like kind of little go-to. And it ate.
Yes.
It ate.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it got me through the month, so I'm excited to see what your song is for March.
Okay, so my song for March is White Rabbit.
Okay.
The original version is by Jefferson Airplane. However, there are other versions, and I specifically call upon the Patti Smith version.
Okay, yes.
All right?
Anything Patti Smith. I mean, the woman is
a legend.
Goddess.
Yes.
Incarnate.
But she brings something, I mean, the song's pretty intense and pretty raw anyways, and kind of like, you know, going on the scary side of things a little bit, but it's like kind of trippy also. And she lends like a very intense vocal to it, which I think is fantastic.
Cool.
But it's a weird vibe, people.
Oh my God, such a weird vibe.
So that's the song.
Yeah.
And what's going on in March?
So much. I mean, if you thought February was like chaotic and fraught, which maybe you didn't, but I'm pretty sure you probably did.
I did.
Definitely. Well, yeah, just like strap in because it's not gonna be different.
It's gonna be worse.
Much worse.
Yes, and I think there's a lot of like pushing and pulling and a lot of like. Anyway, okay, so what is happening? Let's get into the deets.
Okay, well, we're kicking it off with our favorite and yours, our Venus. Yes. We love her, we stan her, everything she does. However, she is going into retrograde.
Yep.
The first day of the month. It's like, boom, here, retrograde.
Yep.
In Aries.
Yep. And her retrograde is also having her travel back into Pisces.
Yeah, exactly.
Which happens at the end of the month. So we're getting a retrograde in Aries and then a dip back into Pisces, which as we know, that Aries-Pisces cusp is just so intense and so wild and so wacky. So it's going to be a lot. And she's going to be in her retrograde for about 40 days. That's the usual pattern.
Yeah, it's like the same energy of February when we were talking about that, like dreamy water, but then there's the fire, like it's all of that, like again, but it's worse. And yeah,
exactly. And as we know with retrogrades, there's going to be a lot of revising, redoing, repeating, reevaluating, all of that stuff, especially with Venus. People from the past who might be relationships, people might come back into your orbit, which, like, do we need this ever? No. Right now? No. So anyway, just be prepared to be strong if that's what you need to do and not go into things during this time because it's very fraught and you might regret it later.
Yes, it's a lot, and there's also like a little Pisces stellium that's happening at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So we have got Mercury, North Node, and Neptune all in Pisces at the same time. So it's the same thing of February of like, oh, this water, and can feel like being, I think you said like being like tossed into the deep end. But then, you know, we've got this like fieriness happening with the retrograde. It's a lot. Anyway.
Absolutely. So, then, I mean, not to go out of chronological order, but what you're saying is reminding me later in the month from the 20th to the 26th.
Yeah.
We're going to have Pluto sextiling. First the sun, or first Venus, and then the sun, and then Mercury. So again, it's like this stellium, and then Pluto is connecting and activating with all of those. So there's just going to be this deep, dark, I mean, sextile is a favorable aspect, so it's not necessarily like something that's really challenging, but it's going to be like, what are you doing in there, Pluto? Like, get out of our business. We're already all, like, they're all in Aries at that point.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude.
Yeah, haven't you done enough?
Yes. What are you doing?
It's so much change.
What are you going to do? So that's another one to look out for. So I jumped out of order to say that. But that's, again, like the 20th to the 26th.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, what is going on?
Yeah, totally. Ugh.
I know. Okay, going backwards again to the earlier in the month. What else do we have?
March 3rd, Mercury goes into Aries.
Right.
So, you know, more Aries energy. So just lots of... It's going to feel at the beginning of the month so much forward pushing.
Yes.
So much just this commitment energy and this energy around, you know, your plans and your ideas and your communication and all this kind of stuff. But don't get too far over your skis because you're going to get you're going to get thwarted pretty soon.
Well, absolutely. And I think adding into that energetic, the beginning of that energetic stuff, the sun is going to trine Mars on the 7th as well, which is really just going to activate,
Yeah.
So, because, Mars rules Aries, and there's just going to be that communication that's going to be happening. So, even though the sun is still in Pisces at that time, but it's like it's this activation kind of energy that's going to happen. So, I think there's going to be a lot of things people want to get started or feel like some kind of urgency towards. But then we're also having multiple retrogrades in the month. We have Venus and later Mercury, but we'll get to that after.
Yeah.
It's also eclipse season, people.
Yep. Just when you're feeling like this is happening, Mercury in Aries, and then you get this sun trine Mars in Cancer, and then it's like, okay, eclipse now.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. Like, full lunar eclipse, and it's in Virgo, so that's just going to annoy you. And it really is just going to force you, which, okay, it's a good thing. It's going to annoy you, but it is a good thing. Because it's really, I think, a good opportunity, if you take it as an opportunity, to look at where can I exercise a little bit more structure and control to help me not feel so freaking crazy.
See, that's a really good angle on it. I was, and maybe it was just kind of, I was like getting in the frenetic energy of everything. And I was like, it's going to be this sudden, sharp judgment where you're going to be suddenly like, oh my God. Like, okay, but I think you're on to something better. Yeah. So I'm going to defer to you on that energy.
No, because it will probably feel like that. Because it is, which is why I say it's going to annoy you. And it will, because you're totally right. It's the eclipse energy, and then also like the full moon. It's just shining all this light. So yes, it is going to feel like, oh my God, okay. Like, what? I'm doing everything wrong. I guess I'm doing everything wrong.
Yes, and like all the Aries, like all that energy that's like gearing up at the beginning of the month, I feel like this is just going to be like, like, I don't know. I'm like, stop, don't do that.
Totally. Yeah. But yes, if we can harness that and be like, okay, this isn't meant to be critical. This is meant to be helpful and to look at things that structurally might make us feel a little bit better, because there's so much structurally that we cannot control, right? And it's good to have that Aries energy to be like, well, I'm going to take back some of this control. 100% love the energy I've been seeing. Love that for us. But you have to do it to make real change and to actually feel like you're getting somewhere and gaining ground. You have to do it in a structured way. The structures exist for a reason, as much as that might be frustrating. And to look at them and how you're not exercising them can be really annoying. But that's what this, set of eclipses is here for. And you're in for it for the next couple of years. So you might as well just get used to the eclipses on this axis, because they're not going anywhere.
That is very true. The very next day after that, we have Mercury stationing retrograde in Aries, which I alluded to before. Yeah. It also goes into its retrograde shadow on the 1st of the month as well.
Yes.
So we're, that energy is still there. And it will also go back into Pisces at the very end of the month on its retrograde journey. Jesus. So like, hello.
Yeah. It's just this low simmering boil.
Yes.
It's like, what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. So I just think it's going to be rough. Retrogrades are always a little bumpy, and
they are.
There's a couple like these two happening at the same time. After that, we have the sun actually going into Aries.
Right. Which I feel like is going to feel like and I'm being optimistic here. I feel like that's going to be a more contextual match. Yes. I feel like that's going to feel more aligned. That's going to feel better.
Yes.
It's also the spring equinox, which always makes me feel better. I don't care what's going on. I always feel better, because it's that shift. We want that shift. We see a little bit of sun. We get a little bit of warmth. Like, every time people are getting those little gifts from nature right now, like, they're so excited, because we like need that. And just that shift of like, okay, this is now the part of the year that we're headed into, I feel like that's going to feel good.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And it is the zodiacal new year and kind of the witch's new year, if you will. And I think that is sweet and exciting and like very needed.
Yeah.
But that also allows that kind of stellium where Venus, the Sun, and Mercury are all in Aries, and then they're having that sextile with Pluto, which I already went over a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then we get a new moon solar eclipse in Aries on the 29th of the month.
Yeah.
So as if you needed more, just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just more of the same energy of like, where have we not been being our authentic selves, and where do we need to like look at that? And it's like, the amount of like self-reflection this month is gonna, but it's just gonna annoy everyone.
And just to add one more thing into that, our friend Neptune also goes into Aries.
Yeah.
Which Neptune on its long journey does what some of the other outer planets tend to do. They bounce back and forth over before they go permanently into the next sign.
Yeah.
So Neptune is not permanently in Aries, but starting on the 30th, it'll be in Aries for a while, and then it'll go back into Pisces again, and then it'll go backwards. Anyway, ends up finally being in Aries for 12 years, starting in 2026. But we're going to have this bouncing back and forth. And again, that cusp is so intense.
Yeah, it is.
And Neptune is so out there to begin with. I just think... yeah, it's like just stirring the soup and it's all in there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is stirring the soup and it is all in there. And,
yes!
And the soup is boiling because it's Aries. Yeah, it's just boiling. And we haven't had Neptune in Aries in like 150 years. So like nobody knows what to do with that. Nobody knows.
Well, yeah, you don't really know how it feels or is going to feel.
Mm-mm. It's like brand new. You don't always get brand new things, you know. I mean, you get the typical kind of transits that happen. You don't always get brand new things, and so that's really interesting. It's going to be like a really interesting time of looking at like trusting timing on things and really being able to like lean back into that divine timing and when things are supposed to happen. And that right now in this climate is ridiculously hard to relinquish control over and let that happen. But there's also this like these new feelings and this new beginning and this refreshed vigor to really nail down what we want and who we are, and we have to keep that momentum going too. But it's essentially those two sides, which is essentially like everything about being a witch or like being someone who's interested in studying astrology as a tool is those two ideals.
Yes.
What you can do and what you need to sort of like rest your sort of faith in. And I would argue like any religion or any sort of like framework.
Totally.
It's those that the juxtaposition of those things. And it's such a hard balance to achieve.
Yes, and Neptune is a lot about our spirituality and about kind of our unconscious, subconscious kind of worlds and so on, you know, and having been in Pisces for so long recently, you know, all of that I think was just very intensive and very like murky and deep, and now it's kind of coming up more into like an active place, kind of like what you're saying, like, you know, part of it is relinquishing control, but part of it is taking agency where you can. So the balance of that as well. So anyway, yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. But that's it. That's March.
That's what we're dealing with. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Well, we warned ourselves too, and then we still get mad.
Yeah, we do. It's okay. It's normal.
It's
human.
Normal. It's true. Well, I know. Good luck out there, dumb witches. We'll see you next time.